What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and it is incredible to see the way that Ghost of Tsushima is being received by fans. People absolutely love this game. I love this game. It seems like it's only the critics or people that want to be offended that have something bad to say about the game, unless you're a Last of Us Part 2 fanboy, in which case you might go and leave zeros just because. We talked about that a few videos ago. I want to focus now on the people who want to be upset about everything else. But first, let's take a look at this incredible score, a 9.2 user score on Metacritic. We compared that to a couple other PS4 exclusives, namely God of War and Spider-Man PS4, and it's above even those games. That is pretty amazing. I don't know if it is better than those games personally. I am having an absolute blast playing this, and it's so funny the way these last two PS4 exclusives have happened, because the release of Ghost of Tsushima seems to be exactly the opposite in nearly every way than what we saw with The Last of Us Part 2. Whether it be the almost unanimous support for this game, whether it be the way the studios are handling criticism, everything. And it's so refreshing to have a studio like Sucker Punch come out and say all these things that we really want to hear as consumers. But let's take a look at the people that are getting upset about this game. This is Bounding into Comics. A lot of people have talked about this article. It's really well done over there by Spencer on Bounding into Comics. Ghost of Tsushima receives rave reviews from Japanese audiences, upsetting Western critics. That's right, because they are looking for someone to be offended for. But it's just not working out because, for the most part, it seems like the Japanese people really love this game. Ghost of Tsushima, why does it do that? Ghost of Tsushima has been received overwhelmingly positively by Japanese audiences since its release, much to the dismay of Western critics seeking to spark discourse around the game. And of course, it's going to be very interesting to see. This game is selling really well in Japan. It'll be interesting to see what happens if it has the same type of fall-off. Is it going to have an 85% drop-off like we saw for The Last of Us Part 2? I'm gonna guess not. I'm gonna guess we're gonna still see it sell really well next week. That will be interesting. On July 15th, Kotaku published an article discussing how Ghost of Tsushima is being praised by Japanese critics, and they put this tweet out. Now, I talked about this article a couple videos ago when I highlighted how it's being received so well by so many people, including the people that no one wanted it to be received well by. Again, the Japanese critics. Which detailed the critical consensus is that Ghost of Tsushima does an admirable job of bringing 13th century Japan to life. And before we move on, this describes the game a little bit. Before we move on, just let me say that while I've been playing the game, it is so fun to play. If you are on the fence about this game, it really does. In the same way that Spider-Man is everything that you would want in a Spider-Man game, that is what Ghost of Tsushima is. If you were to say, I want a game about being a samurai going through on my own through Japan, this is what this game is. The colors are incredible. Some of the visuals that you see are amazing. The tone that it gives you, it feels like you are in a samurai movie. And I think that's what so many people wanted, and that's what Sucker Punch delivered. So thank you so much to Sucker Punch for giving this to us. Here it is. Garnering high praise from leading outlets such as Akibasuken, Deneki Online, and Engadget Japan, Ghost of Tsushima's highest accolade has been its awarding of a rare 40 out of 40 score from Weekly Famitsu. Sucker Punch's samurai-themed historical action game is only the third Western game to receive a perfect score from Japan's most popular video game news source, following The Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Grand Theft Auto 5. So, high praise indeed, only the third perfect score ever, again, from a Japanese website. However, their enjoyment of a Western title based on its history did not sit right with Western critics, who feared the Japanese acceptance of the title would render any criticism based on social justice theories baseless. Ironic. So ridiculous that some people are upset the Japanese people actually like this game, because then they can't use them to hold it up and say, look at what this game does. You should be offended, because the people that you're trying to be offended for don't give a shit. Gene Pop here. He retweets it. Look at what he says. Video game reporter for the Washington Post. Not a surprise. There's going to be more critical discourse around Ghost of Tsushima, and this link will be used in bad faith to defend the game against criticisms. Asians will have different perspectives than Asian Americans. It's not complicated. Park's sentiment was soon echoed by like-minded players, many of whom were white or Asian American, who similarly feared the lack of Japanese outrage toward the game would invalidate their Western-centric critical race theory-based criticism. Kyle Bradford. Literally anyone who criticizes this game is now going to have to deal with people pointing to this. Like Japanese nationals' opinions on this BS invalidates our own. I'm so furious. God, look at this ratio. So many people have been dying for games to be taken more seriously, and the second that happens, they realize what all that entails. I'm so tired. This dude, it's so sad that this dude is so upset that these group of people like it. So now people aren't going to consider mine to be valid. Dude, like everyone's opinions are their own. But the thing is, if they had been upset about it, what would you be doing right now, Kyle Bradford? People know you'd be screaming it from the high heavens. The Japanese people hate this game. This is racist. What are we going to do about it? Of course they would. Sissy. I'm so exhausted because Japanese nerd media has a problem with glorifying Japanese nationalism for like basically forever. And it's not like it's a secret that Japanese fascists exist. Jesus. Here's another person. I would like to add on that those in Japan have a stake in this. This is a story they want told. Non-Japanese, Asian, and Asian Americans who suffered at the hands of Japanese imperialism will feel very differently. Then another one, Tony Choi. I really love it when Asian Americans raise serious concerns on an issue and white people go behind our backs to Asia and ask Asians in Asia what they think instead of actually asking us. What a shock that, you know, the country where this is set in, that maybe they would go and ask and wonder what people thought about that. What a shock, isn't it, Tony Choi? The sentiment quickly received mass amounts of pushback from wider gaming communities, as player noted that not only was this game based on real historical events, but that these complaints were based in bad faith desires for controversy. Hang on. Are you actually angry Japanese people aren't mad? And then this one. How dare the Japanese not be offended by a game that treats their culture with respect just because it was made by Western developers? And there's row upon row of these type of sentiments. You saw that these people got ratioed. The bottom line, and the great thing to take away from this, is that the vast majority of people really love this game. Not just like it, the vast majority of people love this game. That's very obvious to see. It was the top seller in the UK, beating, Paper Mario, which, listen, Paper Mario is an actual franchise. Ghost of Tsushima is a new IP. It is the last thing that's going to be a PS4 exclusive. It did get pushed back a little bit after The Last of Us Part 2. I want to see what the sales look like for this because, quite honestly, I think a lot of people slept on this game. I was sleeping on this game. I wanted it to be really good, but the way I saw people talk about it, people that I trust on YouTube that I watch play, that I watch review things, when I saw Lethal Lightning over on Gaming with Geeks and how much fun he was having with it, I had to just go and download this game. That's what I did. After seeing people's reaction, after this good word of mouth that was passed around, I went and supported this game, and I'm so happy I did because I'm having a ton of fun. I can't wait to finish it and get through it all. I am playing through it on Twitch a little bit as well. If none of you are following me over on Twitch, I will put a link in the pinned comment to my Twitch channel. Go give me a follow over there. But I'm looking forward to finishing this game so I can do a little roundtable discussion with some other people on Gaming with Geeks. Let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think the outrage over the lack of outrage from Japanese audiences is just the height of irony? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.